Millions of people on alert for dangerous icy conditions this week as Winter Storm Freya hauls a wintry mix of freezing rain and snow. We're going to highlight the storm's path from the Midwest to the Mid-Atlantic to the Northeast.
Here's a look at Freya's most dangerous threat. It could be some ice for some of you. Starting tomorrow, a wide swath of ice coating some cities. Sleet's going to mix in with that. We're going to see that ice, plus how long before it all melts away? That's probably the big question you're wanting to know. Welcome, everyone. This is Weather Unfiltered. I'm Mike Bettis.
I'm Alex Wilson, our expert, Dr. Rick Knabb. Meanwhile, across the South, people are going, what snow, what ice? It is warm.
I got on my bike today for the first time in a while, and I almost broke a sweat. I mean, it was pretty toasty out there. But I also talked to some friends and family up in the Midwest, and they're like, wait a minute, it was 60 yesterday, now it's 30 today. What is going on? What season is this?
There's a lot going on. Plus, we've got atmospheric river hitting the West Coast. We've got another one coming after that, too.
Yeah, the San Francisco Bay Area is getting rocked right now. So is San Francisco with heavy rain and flooding, and we'll get a break tomorrow, but another system later this week, and that one is going to be a coast to coast.
Coast to coast. It's an action-packed show for you. We got a whole lot on our plate. Well, let's begin in the Windy City, Chicago, under a winter weather
with the weather here off and on for the rest of the week.
Yeah, so we're going to get a brief reprieve, and then we're back at it again. Now, let's track Freya, though, into the Northeast, because we do have some areas with significant ice accumulations likely. Ice storm warnings in effect along the 99 corridor there in the state of Pennsylvania, a little bit of I-80, I-76, 68 corridor in Maryland. That includes Cumberland over to the state line with West Virginia, mountains of West Virginia, also some of the higher elevations in northern sections of the state of Virginia under the ice storm warnings. Then we've got winter weather advisories outside of that. A lot of the Northeast or Mid-Atlantic sections of Pennsylvania, Jersey, Delaware, Maryland. So a lot to be watching for. And unfortunately, while it's not a lot of ice, it's a lot of problems that come with just the amount of ice that we're looking at. Quarter to half inch of ice here for the State College area points south. I think actually State College, you may be a little less, but down towards Altoona and Johnstown and Harrisburg, Chambersburg, Winchester, Martinsburg, Virginia, getting up towards Hagerstown, Maryland. These are all areas that could see significant ice accumulations. Once you're above a quarter inch, now you're dealing with the drooping tree limbs and tree limbs that come down, taking power lines with it. So what do we need to worry about? Damaging ice accumulations, quarter inch plus. So some tree damage, numerous power outages expected. Any trace of ice up to a quarter inch of ice is going to lead to really bad travel, especially once you get to that 10th to quarter inch. And that's very likely for many spots. We look at our temperatures here moving through the afternoon on Wednesday. You can see we are not warm. Farther to the north, it's going to be all snow where temperatures are in the single digits. But Pittsburgh sitting at 31, D.C. at 33. There's going to be a lot of areas where we're at or just below the freezing mark. State College at 28, 33 in Philly, 34 in Washington, D.C. So again, south central PA into western Maryland, into Virginia and West Virginia. That I-81 corridor could be really tricky. Bridges and overpasses, they're always the first to get bad. But with the ice accumulations that we're expecting, we could see, roadways be problematic. 32 in State College by lunchtime on Thursday. So still dealing with that freezing rain. Could see some of that over into the Lehigh Valley, the Poconos, North Jersey, upstate New York, southern tier of New York, also bracing for possible freezing rain. That would include a place like Binghamton. Meanwhile, farther to the north, it is all snow, where temperatures throughout the atmosphere stay cold enough to keep us frozen precip in those areas. And those spots will pick up some 5 to 8 inch totals, a lot of 3 to 5 inch amounts, including Boston up towards Portland, Burlington, as well as Syracuse. Farther to the south, though, where we stay with the ice, even though you may see some snowflakes, we're not going to be picking up accumulations. New York, probably an inch or two, so not a super impactful event, but enough. And again, coming in the time into the overnight morning hours of your Thursday, could see some slick spots on the roads, or just at least, Mike, everybody's tapping the brakes a little bit more. It leads to a slower go when there's precip falling. And then we've got, obviously, the wintry mix that moves in, followed by the rain. State College, Pennsylvania, right now looking just fine, 32 degrees with a wind of 14 miles an hour. But again, temperatures holding, if not dropping a little bit towards the day on Wednesday. That'll set up the stage for the ice threat. comes with a caveat, right? You get these really nice days, but you're like, all right, what's the catch? Well, the catch for some could be severe weather opportunities, potential record highs and record warm lows. They're going to be with us all the way through Saturday. And you notice most of these are across the south, central, and southeastern states. Some parts of the desert Southwest could also be setting records. That jet stream right down the middle, not much up and down to it. So we don't see the big undulations. That's keeping the heat to the south. It's keeping the cold to the north. So, very like ice cream sandwich. Everything's, lined up pretty parallel. Tomorrow, though, with the warmth, with moisture streaming in, we do have the risk of an isolated severe storm. Bowling Green up closing in on Lexington, Nashville, and the Nashville metro area would be included within that. So a lot of interstates also in play for a hit or miss severe storm. We start things off Wednesday morning. We get a little more activity going by mid to late morning. There's the afternoon thunderstorm chances. Parts of Alabama, Tennessee, into the state of Kentucky. Those are our best chance zones, again, for the hit or miss severe storm moving out and east as we move into the overnight hours, although we've got a second wave coming in as we move into Thursday morning. So you may get a brief break before another round of rain and thunderstorms rolls through. That temperature contrast, it's going to stick with us tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, even into our Saturday. So cold to the north, warm to the south. You know what to do. If you want it warm, just grab a flight to Dallas. Temps in the 80s, potential record highs across Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, western North Carolina, parts of Tennessee, and North Florida. So, Dr. Nab, we're not getting many complaints at our Weather Channel complaint line coming out of the southeast. And one of the spots that may be needing that advice, Cleveland, Ohio. We give you a virtual view. You go from cloudy to some freezing rain coming your way into the overnight. So by Thursday morning, things may not be good out there on the roads. Again, especially those elevated surfaces like Stephanie just showed, bridges and overpasses. Ice totals not overwhelmingly high, but it doesn't take a lot of ice to cause a lot of problems. 1/10 to a 1/4 inch likely there along the lake shore and then into interior parts of the state of Ohio. Temperatures Wednesday night, you can see they're holding in those upper 20s, right around 30. That's going to be plenty cold, though. That cold air at the surface holding tough for a few hours. Then we switch over to rain. Notice those temps finally start to creep up to or above the freezing mark. So we get up to 33, 34, even 36, 37 degrees. That's going to change the precip from freezing rain to rain. So that'll do us some favors going into Thursday's morning commute, at least, the traditional hours. Once the rain is coming down, temperatures are warming up. That's going to melt that ice away. But if you're out early on Thursday morning, you could be up against some of those slick conditions. Into Pennsylvania, we've got 1/4 to 1/2 inch of ice possible along that 99 corridor. So Hollidaysburg out. Well, if you watched the Grammys on Sunday night, you saw the ceremony feature not just music, but also businesses destroyed by the California fires. One of those businesses was the Two Dragons Martial Arts Studio, burned down during the Eaton fire in Altadena. Tonight, the owner tells the Weather Channel they're determined to make their way back. Of the west, atmospheric moisture, it's streaming in, and so we've got days of wet and wintry weather coming. Last 24 hours, you can see the focus has been into the Bay Area, where through tomorrow morning there is the risk of flash flooding. So the darker shade of green, little better chance of seeing flash flooding there. Anybody shaded in that light green, though, could see at least localized flash flooding. That takes us down to the northern part of the LA area, including Santa Barbara. So there are communities edging towards Southern California that could see some of those issues. Moving into tomorrow, you can see LA does get in on the rain. We'll watch those burn scar areas. High elevations across the Intermountain West and the Sierras. They'll see snow to start the day. Intermountain West sees a little bit of a break, whereas snow picks up across parts of the Cascades, Washington and Oregon. Here comes the next round of rain for the end of the week. Rain to come through Thursday morning, sometimes 2 to 3 inches.